Hello everyone and welcome back to PAX and Recreation. And here we are with a makeshift Avatar Roku / Firelord Ozai playmat, even though it's not. And we're going to review and open the product of the season if you are new to Magic the Gathering, which is, or you love Avatar a lot and you never played Magic the Gathering, which is the the Magic the Gathering Avatar the Last Airbender Beginner's Box or Beginner Box. So this is the best way to learn how to play. And is it though? We're going to review, see what's up, what's inside, and what are the contents. So if you are new to the channel, just bear in mind that I am reviewing this as a person that, trust me, has spent way too much time and money playing Magic the Gathering. So I will try to review it both from the very heavy bias that I have as a experienced player, and experience is an euphemism for old, and also from the perspective of someone that never played Magic but really likes Avatar, because we are lucky today. I do like Avatar, so that should make it easier. Now let me just open this on the sideways before I show you the boxes. Full art and whatnot. Let's just get rid of the plastic for the sake of the reflections. So, as you can see, is a quite sizable box and something a lot better and a lot shinier, I will say, than the how to play 2-deck starter kits, which, if you know what I'm talking about, should be a link here or down below, or just search for it in the channel. The beginner box is also a reskin. Last year in December, we also got a beginner box, but for Magic the Gathering's Foundation, which is a Magic the Gathering set that is basically, well, the foundation for the next 7 years of Magic. So it's like cards that are, I guess, useful for everyone during the next 7 years. Is the core. Well, it's not the core set, but you know what I mean. So in this case, we get a nice, cool-looking reskin for Avatar. Right away, the box is very cool. I do kind of have a mini problem. That is that, I mean, there is so much beautiful art for this set, and they went with like a 2 PNG approach. I mean, you could just do it some. I believe that maybe they tried to do like this, and they were like, it's too empty. Put Zuko there. It's like, I guess, but minor complaints. Now, the box is fairly simple, nothing too complicated, nothing on the sides actually, just a couple of serial numbers, and the back that says, learn the basic elements of Magic. Whoever thought about this is a beautiful person, and I love that person, because these are the pawns that I live for. Your Magic the Gathering journey begins with a friend beside you, which is true. Magic is supposed to be played with people. If you want to play with people that you can see, well, go play Magic Arena, which is actually perfectly valid. Play your very first game in a guided battle of Aang versus Zuko, which that's the reason why they are both in the box, but again, they are like better art, whatever, I digress. Choose your side and send your forces to your opponent while learning essential gameplay lessons. Then, once you have conquered the basics, master the remaining elements with Avatar the Last Airbender themed decks. Just combine 2 packs and you're ready to go. I will explain what that means, but basically you get 2 instant play decks, 2 learn to play guides, 2 playmats, 8 Jumpstart decks, and 2 spin down life counters. And then a bunch of logos, Nickelodeon, Wizards, and yada yada yada. So one thing that as a new player may get you confused is, if you have learned about Magic the Gathering and not necessarily, how people play, you may have heard about Commander. You may have heard that there is like a main character that is your commander and whatnot. This is not Commander. This is normal Magic. It can be confusing because it says there is a battle between Aang and Zuko, but it's more of a flavor thing. It's not like Commander. This is normal Magic the Gathering. And in case you are new and you heard about Commander being a hot thing that everyone loves, disclaimer, it's actually very important that you learn how to play basic Magic first, and then you kind of learn the twist of Commander. It's not that difficult, but you gotta learn the basics, which, if you are an Avatar fan, you know that unless you are the avatar and you have all the memories from your past lives, you kind of need to learn the basics of water bending, earth bending, and fire bending before you attempt to become the avatar. Being the avatar in this case means playing commander. So what do we have here? We have a bunch of tokens that are glued to a guide, which is actually kind of cool because it's like, listen, you're not gonna be doing this by any means. I'm actually kind of curious to see if they're going to fix the usability problem that we had with the old beginner box, the one from Foundations, because it seemed like things were out of order. So let's see. It says, welcome to Magic the Gathering, Flameo. In this box, you will find everything you need to start your journey, a tutorial game guided by 2 step-by-step booklets, plus a variety of ready-to-play cards, ready-to-play card packets to explore once you understand the basics. For additional info, go to learnmtg.com, which is actually very useful, but it can be very confusing. So if you're a new player, you first see these, and they really want to make sure that this thing doesn't dance around. It's like, okay, so I guess this is the first thing they want to expose to us. And then you get the rules reference, which can be overwhelmed, even though, trust me, if you are new to Magic, this is kind of a very simplified version of the rules. Fun fact, it says here, stop. If you haven't played your first game of Magic the Gathering yet, grab a friend and do that now using the Quick Start Guide. So this is kind of the same problem that I had with the previous version, which is there's an introduction to the rules of Magic the Gathering, which we'll see in a second. But if you're a new player, they actually want you to go check the Quick Start Guides and the 2 packets marked with Do Not Shuffle. It's a shame because this, even though this is cool that this is here, a lot of people are not going to read this right away, even though, you know, this is a board game, so you kind of need to read the rules first. But a lot of people are going to just start mess up with things. Is it the first thing that you get, and this is, you know, shiny and plastic? This should be the thing that says, use this, do that, so that you know that you can go to your not to be shuffled things. Sadly, these 2 packs of cards that are on the side are not what they mean. These are not the do not shuffle bunch. These are the cards that we will use at the end. And then you have the dice too, the 2 spin life counters, which we're going to see in a second in more detail. So you're supposed to ignore that. And then, yes, you have the Zuko deck and the Ang deck quick reference guides. Looking very cool, very flavorful, very on theme. So this is what you need to look. We're going to look at Ang, because, I mean, I like Zuko, but it is what it is. So, oh, is it like full color coded? Oh, nice. So let's get ready to play. You get here a bunch of steps to guide you through. Now, as I know that if you know how to play Magic, you may be looking at this review and going like, bro, can you please just unbox the thing? Hear me out. We need to onboard everyone into this game, otherwise we have no one to play with. So I know that this may seem overwhelming if you are a new player, because I mean, you get these cards, which you can open, by the way, it's kind of cool. And then you get this guide, which you're not supposed to read because you're supposed to read these. And these are thicker. So if it helps you in any way, well, Magic is about reading. All the cards have text on them, but which is what makes it actually a good game for kids. You learn how to read. You use math. You do everything with Magic. Your imagination flies. This is bigger because they explain you the basics, right? So we're not going in detail, but I just want to point out some cool things here. They explain you the basics of how this works. By the way, if you at any point don't want to follow this, just go watch a video on how to play Magic the Gathering. Or my personal opinion, my personal recommendation, even though it kind of goes against this, but we will see why in a second I do this recommendation, is just download Magic Arena, which is for tablets, and is on Steam and whatnot. It's free to play, and you have tutorials, and you can't run away from those tutorials. Now, you won't get Avatar themed stuff right away, but at least you get the basics, and then you can go back to this, and kind of skip over a lot of this. But I do want to point something out about this. This is actually kind of cool. They are introducing you to the rules, the structure of a card, etc. This is all very important stuff. Please don't skip it. This is in bullet points like ChatGPT, so you can, it's easy to read. But one thing that I actually love, if you're an established player and you buy this to play with someone, like someone in your family, or a friend or someone that you want to introduce to Magic because they love Avatar, they actually have a lot of flavor bits. Like the Fire Nation is threatening to destroy Sokka and Katara's village. I am the one they're really after. We will join the fight as soon as we can. Like they have a lot of stuff like this in the whole guide. Like, a villager is trapped outside the wall. I hope those Fire Nation soldiers leave them alone. Right? So this is kind of cool. And the Zuko one has kind of the same flavor bits, but I have tracked the Avatar to a miserable water tribe village. Finally, I can capture him and return home. Scout the village, then launch the assault. Now, it's kind of non really canon because this is Zuko, without the ponytail, which is not really, but potato. It is what it is. Now, if you're alone, which I don't recommend it. I don't think anyone recommends being alone. But like the thing is, if you're alone and you still want to learn how to play Magic by yourself, well, you can imagine what you need to do. Instead of playing, if you don't want to play Magic Arena, it's just like you read this at the same time and you just simulate both decks. Now, what are these guides referring to when they say do not shuffle? Well, you have here a very cool kind of playmat. It's a playmat in the literal sense, but it's more of a board game mat. In this case, Avatar theme, so I guess a lot of people are going to enjoy this. Now, if you're new to Magic, normally for us Magic players and card players, and this what I have under here, this is a playmat. Normally, it's made of rubber and it's soft and whatnot, but we can use things like this, which are more like a board game, and this is kind of cool. So you get this, you get a lot of counters and markers, which we're going to see in a second what they are for. And you get a second playmat because this is for 2 players. And then the box. And the box is just decorative. There is nothing here. You just get a very nice piece of art that shows you the color wheel of Magic. So if you're new to Magic the Gathering, please understand that the colors of the cards in Magic are not literal elements. They are not literally related to the elements in Avatar the Last Airbender. Even though, well, you can be like, well, Aang is in white, so I guess that's air. It's like, not, and you can be like, well, she's in black because she's evil. It's like, not really. The colors, as you can see, they have attached mechanics. In this case, for Avatar, they have attached Avatar mechanics. Fly over your opponent's defenses, play allies and booster creatures. But if you look it up, the color wheel from Magic the Gathering is actually about certain types of emotions and play styles, and those happen to kind of relate to these characters in Avatar, so they kind of match perfectly, like fire, water, but they are not really, fire and water. It's more about like being driven, fiery, explosive, pursuit of knowledge, equality, peace, that sort of thing. So they kind of happen to match some of the characters in Avatar by color, but it's not what that means. So the confusion really just comes here. Like, you open all these, right? And they tell you like, oh, just open the things that say don't shuffle. And they are here in the middle of all these. So you kind of have to ignore one of these. And by the way, I guess if you want to see the rest of the box, the rest of the box first. The box is kind of cool. It's like a shoebox to a degree. You can just remove everything. And you get this nice, cool box that we sadly no longer get with the bundles. Something that the most powerful card in Magic the Gathering, the anti-steal tag. And this is basically just a placeholder. What you get is, you get the 2 D20s, one in white and one in red to match like the colors of the 2 sides of the duo. And then this is just a box for you to put your cards, but it does come, like, you can remove this if you want, and you can just put your cards. But if you keep this in there, this is not a mistake. That thing is in there basically because you can use the dividers that come in here. These things in here are basically dividers. You grab this and separate them. And as you can see, you have here dividers. Why is this useful? You will see in a second. But as you can imagine, these things just go here. Again, this is not like a perfect match. This is a beginner's box. It's kind of it's more or less a budget product. And you put them there. And why is that there? I will show you in a second. Actually, I put this in here in the first one. And we will see in a second. This is most of the stuff that you get in here, except for the +1/+1 counters, which are poppables. What is this? Well, you will see as you learn how to play Magic the Gathering that some cards have effects such as put a +1/+1 counter on a card. And you can do that mentally, but normally it's good practice to have something to represent it. In this case, they give you some cardboard cutouts that represent +1/+1, and they give them to you in like 2 colors so that you can completely role play what's happening. The rest are literally dividers that we will see why they give you that in a second. And the box is pretty cool. So with that out of the way, and let's keep the box handy because it will be handy. What do we have here? Let's put the D20s on a side. The rules reference is for you to read, and let me showcase it very quickly. You're supposed to ignore it if you are new to Magic, but it does show you the anatomy of a Magic card and some stuff that, to be honest, some of this is going to be addressed in the 2 guides. The only difference is that here they go like more abstract, and here they are teaching you as you play, which again, I keep insisting that the best way to do this is in Magic Arena because they don't give you an option. You need to do what the computer says. Here, there is some room for error, but it's a nice effort. And I do believe that even though you can learn how to play with this alone or alone with a friend, and both of you never played Magic the Gathering, a good chunk of you are going to buy this as like my, baby's first Magic set, which means, is to induct someone you love into Magic the Gathering because they like Avatar. So you have here the explanation of game zones, the turn structure, and whatnot. Again, if you're new to Magic, this may look like crazy overwhelming, but trust me, with a heavy heart, I do have a heavy heart. Trust me when I say wholeheartedly, Magic is complex, but it's not complicated, at least not most of the time. Sometimes it is, but nothing that a quick search on Reddit can suffice. So we're going to put this aside. By the way, what you get in here, I know that I'm doing the unboxing like very chaotically, but trust the process. What you get in here, which is kind of difficult to pull without ripping something, okay, there you go, because of the magic snot. What you get in here are what are called tokens. Tokens are Magic the Gathering cards that are not cards. These are basically representations of things. You will see cards in the actual decks that will tell you things like create a 1/1 token creature ally. And here you have representations of those. And these, well, Magic has all sorts of these. You can use these cards, or you can use that piece of paper, you can use that figure, you can use a die, you can do whatever. Obviously, if you have flavorful token cards, it's better, and they give you some, and they're very cool, and in obviously the style of Avatar. And then they give you a bunch of reference cards, 2 and 2 for both players. The reference cards are exactly what you imagine, which is like a quick reference of the battlefield and the steps of your turn, just for you to keep handy so that you don't have to keep looking at the guides and whatnot, and like how he's attacking and how he's blocking, which is also kind of cool. And you get another quick on your turn reference card and another how to cast spells quick reference card. So these are very useful, as you in the beginning will see that some of these you will need to consult them fairly often at the beginning, and then trust me, if you ever watch another video of this channel, once you get used to it, which is, to be fair, fast enough, you will be so bored of these cards and will be like, whoa, they're very useful reference cards. But if you're new, they are useful. So we remove this from the way. Let's put the cards, give them the cards for the end, because they are like la pièce de la résistance. And you get 2 of these. What does this thing look like? Well, exactly as some of the drawings that you saw there. It looks like a basic Magic the Gathering playmat, like a quote-unquote hardcover one. Obviously, the limitations of these are what they are. As you can see, mine, which is brand new, it's kind of unglued here on the bend. So I guess no one at Wizards does cardboard bending, and it's a convenient thing. It's a useful thing. You can see that it's a piece of paper glued to a piece of strong cardboard. It's not like super duper, but it is what it is. Now, I do appreciate the effort of having a playmat-ish that has a space for your life total, which I appreciate that you can see properly because of the reflections, but it has a space for the life total, a place for cards on exile, and then you have a place for creatures and lands, the way God intended, creatures up top, lands here, and then a space for library, and a place for graveyard, which are all features you're going to understand, and the fact that they are labeled is very cool. If I had to complain, because, you know me by now, I do like to complain, I will say that, you did two. One of them has the avatar, the other one could have Zuko, but yeah, this is basically the set logo. If you don't know what the set logo is, whenever you look at a Magic the Gathering card, they do have a logo or an icon for the set that this is, and the avatar set has Ang on it. Ang the avatar. If you see some of them that have the Ang's air glider, that's also the avatar set. It's just like a special part of it. Now, you get these two decks, right? And we're going to open the Do Not Shuffle one. Because, well, if you see this one, I guess the cards are here. I insist the same way that I did with the original Foundations starter kit, that the two Do Not Shuffle decks should be packed separately, because otherwise you risk people just opening stuff and going crazy. So by the way, this smells strongly like glue, which is, depending on your preferences, either good or bad. You can see that it says things like this: do not shuffle Ang deck, you have to be careful to not mix them, and do not shuffle Zuko deck. And then stop here, play the first game, and then come back, which is cool. But again, it depends a lot on people having a lot of self-control. And then you have here like Jumpstart deck, etc. To be honest, not in the prettiest format. I would expect them to have like a piece of avatar art and they say Jumpstart deck. This is kind of meh. See, like this is kind of but I guess it's for people to understand what we're talking about. So you're supposed to ignore these. Why? I will tell you in a second, as well as the other half of the deck. And these are your two decks for Ang and for Zuko. Now, you are supposed to literally just, you pick one, your friend picks the other, and these are this is like a showcase card. This is not really a you can't play with this one, right? So it says here, do not shuffle, Zuko tutorial, Ang tutorial. It is what it is. So remove this card before playing. This card is not supposed to be used. And then, I guess, spoilers to a degree. You're not supposed to play like this. You're supposed to play like each person with their own. Like you put yours here in the library section, and the other person puts that in there. But you get the point. What you are supposed to do is, in case it's not very obvious, is I'm playing with Ang, right? So start here, read the basics. It says draw 7 cards. You should see the following cards in your hand. And the reason why you're not supposed to shuffle it is not because they love telling you what to do, is because for this to work, they are counting you to respect the order of the cards so that they can tell you what to play and when to play it. So if you grab 7 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get exactly that. Right? And the same happens on the Zuko side. The Zuko side has the same logic. Basically says, listen, grab these cards, do this, do that. And then they will tell you, okay, so first do this, then pass the turn, and then it should look like this, right? Like end of your turn should look like this. Zuko's second turn should look like this. A lot of good flavor here, right? Like my scout has sighted the first villager and my soldiers are close behind. And then during Anne's second turn, do this. I'm going to spoil you this because if you're new to this, This is kind of cool. It looks more complicated than it is, but you will learn how to play while doing this, trust me. And you also have like some cool flavor. I guess that to add to the experience, you depending on who you're playing as, you should read the phrases out loud in character. A member of my guard was stripped by a common villager. Unleash the soldiers and get rid of this wall. Because yeah, Zuko spoke like that. And then you have Iroh here. Doing impressions of Iroh is complicated because at the beginning he was voiced by I forgot the name of the actor. He also voiced Splinter in the 2007 TMNT movie. Mako, I think it's written Mako, but it's pronounced Mako, I think, or maybe not. And he has a very particular cadence, and it's very easy to do the impression and sound disrespectful, so I'm not gonna do it. But see, like you're supposed to follow through. It says like what happens here. Zuko's first turn, then even General, Captain, then Admiral Zhao is here too. It's crazy. They are recreating one of the first encounters between them, and then after that happens, you get combat, you get this, you get that. Again, trust me, it looks complicated. It's not as complicated as it looks. Zuko's 7th turn, and then when this is happening, you should do this. And then you have here some guy, the 8th turn, then you have no cards, and then I guess you guys keep playing. Then a few pointers. What if I don't understand the card? Reading the cards plays the card, but you should have the glossary in the rules reference guide, which is this. Most of the cards in here are basic enough, so it shouldn't be like a crazy rules problem, but still look at the reference guide, and if not, then the reference guide, literally you have this. You have here the glossary, and the glossary explains a lot of mechanics that are a single word, like airbend, and it explains what airbend is, and ally, and card, and cast. If you don't remember, don't worry. Trust me, a lot of us players that have been doing this for years, some of these are ingrained into our brains, like death touch, or flying, or defender, destroy, discard. Those terms are ingrained into our brains, but first strike, etc. But new terms that are unique to each set, like firebend, as you can imagine, and earthbend and whatnot, are new to us as well. So we also need to sometimes reference this or just Google it. A lot of this is tricky, but trust me, you get used to it. And that's the magic of Magic. They keep inventing new mechanics and new things to keep it spicy. Now, a real Magic the Gathering deck is not this thin. But you will see that some of these cards, see, like when they have the air glider, that's the set's icon, and sometimes they have the Avatar Aang icon. Those are both the icons for the Avatar set. Now, a lot of these abilities, as you can see, they explain what they do in here. Some cards that you can maybe buy in a booster or whatnot, they not necessarily will explain the terms. Wizards, I'm seeing they made an effort of putting cards in here that explain always the keyword between parentheses, but you will see that a lot of these cards in the wild don't explain all the terms because, and then some of these already assume, like enchant creatures. Like, what is enchanting a creature? That's why the reference guide is there, and that's also why playing the demo game is good. And you have here Iroh and Zuko. And that's it for Zuko's side, and then for Aang's side, you have the reaction to what's happening. Some quotes. We have stopped one, but there are more coming, and it's even Sokka is here. The village is under the protection of Sokka and his trusty boomerang. You can say it again, brother. And thanks for the assist, Momo. I promise I won't try to eat you tonight, Sokka, or ever. See, this is very flavorful, very cool. You can tell that the people at Wizards really love Avatar. maybe even more than some other sets and other Magic the Gathering sets even. I'm still practicing, but I can back up Sokka and Momo with some waterbending tricks. And the end is more or less the same. They get to the 8th turn, and then the choice is yours. Tell your opponent which creature is blocking Komodo, Rhino, and then this is the end of the tutorial. You have the knowledge you need to continue the game and then move forward, right? And same questions: what if I don't understand a card? Playing lands. Which spell should I cast? When should I attack? So I could read this in detail and make this a let's read together a Avatar quick start guide. But kind of the joke of this is that you do it and you play and you have a great time with whoever you are playing with. Now, after you do this, and as you can see here, after you play your first game, and this is the second part of the flavor here, is that once you finish, then you, as it says here, you can go. The best way to learn about Magic is to play more games. The beginner box includes 10 20-card packets for you to experiment with. To create a deck, take 2 packets and shuffle them together into a single deck. Mix and match, learn each color's strengths and weaknesses, and see. By the way, this doesn't mean that Magic works like Pokemon, so it's not like water wins against fire, it's not like that. And see how different types of cards interact. Refer to this booklet whenever you need something. And, pretty self-explanatory. What do they mean with this? What they mean with this is that once you play, this is only half a deck of Magic the Gathering. Now, what is, and this is like the divider. If you want to keep them divided, this is literally the the divider. By the way, a piece of trivia is, because some people I guess will ask it, is yes, once you play the first game of Aang versus Zuko, you are more than welcome to shuffle them. You should shuffle them, okay? The only time that you are not supposed to shuffle them is the first time that you're playing this. And the reason is obvious, it's for the tutorial to work. But after that, whatever. So if we go back to the amount of cards that we had here, play your first game and then come back. This is a reference guide. If you twist this around, or turn this around, you will see that these are a lot of half decks as well, see? And all themed for Avatar. So you have allies, which is creatures work together. And all these cards are within the theme of allies. So this is a half deck. And these are really like smaller decks. In Magic the Gathering, you're supposed to have 60 card decks. Here are 20 and 20 because we're playing Jumpstart style. If you don't know what Jumpstart is basically you grab 2 boosters and you put them together to make a deck. And each booster basically has something like this. It says allies, and you have a predetermined pack of things. Those things are being sold individually as in boosters or in a box like this. Jumpstart boosters, not to be confused with play boosters. Play boosters are normal Magic the Gathering boosters that you can just buy to get more cards, in this case from Avatar. And collector boosters are the same but more expensive because you're basically paying for better pull rates and more bling bling. But Jumpstart boosters, whenever you open a Jumpstart booster, you will see something like this. Basically 20 cards, half a mini deck for you to just mix to and match. Following that logic, because a normal Magic the Gathering deck will be 60 cards, but following that logic, this is what is cool about this product. Is like, yes, okay, you learn how to play with half a deck, but then you can do, well, not endless combinations, but certainly a lot of, I guess, and a very high number of different games, because even if you get the same 2 decks, you shuffle. So by the laws of probability, you shouldn't get the exact same game, but it's not impossible. So you get, for example, allies in white. And by the way, you need to put white with white. You can put white with red. You can even mix these 2 decks and it will work. Will it work ultra efficiently? No. But this is where the fun is. You can mix them together as in, by looking, and you can go like, I'm going to go with Aang and allies. Or you can just put them face down, shuffle, and be like, well, I guess I'm doing waterbending and Zuko, right? So you have a waterbending half deck, which, is obviously waterbending themed and Katara themed in terms of flavor. Then you get spells one, which is basically non-creature spell casting, which is all the a lot of cards, of spells. Like you have Master Paku here. They try to give you like a main character per set, per half deck, but it's not that thing that is mandatory. It's more of a theme. So you have allies, spells, water bending, and if you open the other half, and this is why you have 2 packets, if you open the other half of this pack, I guess, you get counters in black, which is buff your team. So counters are exactly those +1/+1s that I told you about. Well, you get things like this. See, like whenever another creature you control or land you control is put on the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That sort of thing. And that's Long Feng Grand Secretariat. So you get the cards. In this case is black and green. By the way, the decks will, the guides will explain that, but if you get a card like this, it means that you can pay black or green, not both. So this card is kind of flexible in that regard. And you know, you have the basic lands, you have lands with style, so you get kind of a little bit of everything so that you know how to play Magic. You get counters, you get attacking in black as well, so you can see that you get like 2 from each color. Attacking, find ways to always attack. Purple Pentapus, and so on. I'm going to stop and read them all because I mean, you can pause the video if you want, but these lists are public. You can look them up. And it's not like it's going to change your life. This is a heartless act. It's not like it's going to change your world or anything. These are very, basic cards. Nothing of crazy value here. It's just for you to learn how to play. And that's kind of the joke. If this thing had any value, trust me, it will be difficult for you to get your hands on. So this is kind of good. Firebending. Fight with a burst of mana. So this is all around firebending. Why some cards have a symbol like this in the background is pure aesthetic. In this case, for Avatar, they did that when cards are related to a nation in terms of theme. But as you can see, it's not mandatory. And it doesn't make the card special in any way. Besides just, it looks cool. So you have that. Then you have in green, you have big creatures. Battle with the biggest. And this is kind of more or less theme appropriate for Magic. Like green is like big creatures and monsters and whatnot. Black is about graveyard play and ambition. And earthbending is in green in this set because, well, tough. And wheeled lands in combat. This is kind of to be fair, if you are new to Magic, this may be a complicated mechanic because you are treating artifacts as lands and making lands creatures that can attack, and that can be confusing, but trust me, nothing that you can't handle. So you have also some cards here. Obviously, in terms of flavor, they're all in right there where you need them, which is earthbending and tough. And that's it. So as you can see, it's 10 decks, 2 of each, but that is always considering that you get the 2 first ones for Aang and Zuko as part of the 10. So you get 2 of each color, and that's kind of cool. So is this worth it for a new player or an established player? Well, that's kind of the interesting conversation. By the way, before we move to that and to close this is why this box exists, and this is why you have the dividers, because the idea is for you to, well, more easily divide your decks. Even though you have this card to showcase the division, just put them like this, and you put the dividers and do that. So, kind of cool, kind of clean, and it is what it is. But there is one thing. Well, I guess let's go to and then you have the ally cards and the token cards. So now let's go into whether this is worth it or not. Obviously, it all comes down to price, and price is relative because it depends on how much money you have and whatnot. But as an established Magic the Gathering player, this is a product that I like a lot. It has some minor problems, in my opinion. Mostly they come around packaging, I don't understand how Wizards makes this whole thing with like, you have rules and then you have 2 quick starts, even with quotes from the characters. And it's very flavorful and it's very thought of, and you have graphics to orient yourself and all that. And the unboxing experience is kind of bad. So, and why? Because it's all over the place. Like, first thing you see is this, that kind of tells you like, okay, you need to start your learning tutorial, you have everything. And the tokens are kind of glued here, which makes you think they're important or something. They're not. And then the first thing you see is this thing, and you have to open it and look at the left where it says stop to see like, listen, you have to play the first game first. And it's like, oh, oops, okay. Like you kind of have to go, and then you have like 2 packets of cards and you have to open one, and there the cards that you need are there. Like, it seems like you have to go a little bit out of your way to kind of be treated as a beginner properly. So my advice to Wizards, and it's kind of related to like the only thing that I could see a new player struggling with, which is, I mean, I'm not treating people as they're stupid or anything, but Magic is a fairly complex game, and if this product is a beginner box, you will be arriving at a new world with new things, right? So a lot of text in every freaking card. So I will expect like a better guided approach, similar to like the decks that you are not supposed to shuffle, because they will guide you. So my ask for Wizards, because it doesn't affect me, I already know how to play Magic, but my ask from Wizards will be, listen, the packaging is great. I love the box. The box is very cool. You can fit a lot of cards in there. Plus, you have these that we no longer have a thing with dividers in. Well, we would have had it in the bundles, but whatever. I digress. The thing is, my ask will be, can you guys please just make it so it's a lot more like you open the box and you have like a piece of paper saying like, start here, and it's pointing at like the decks, and the decks are like wrapped separately or together, but it's like a separate wrap. You know, something like that makes it very obvious that you need to start like that with the guides, and then have like the guides first for Aang and Zuko, and instead of, or whatever you're doing in the future, instead of having the rules reference first that you have to open for it to tell you, you want to play with the decks first. Like, it's kind of confusing. It's like you get a lot of things at the same time, and you may be thinking, well, if you're treating this as a board game, a lot of board games don't do that. I will digress and go in a tangent about how a lot of board games actually do that, and they kind of limit your scope, like a tutorial in a video game, to be like, start here. So to me, that's the worst part of this product. And if you are a newcomer to Magic, that can be the one thing that I feel it will be like a kind of a ball. In terms of the decks here, which I already saw before, I think that the 2 default decks are kind of cool, simple, basic, they work, and then you have a little bit of flavor for each color. They do, as a Magic the Gathering fan and Avatar fan, I will say that they do feel appropriate for Avatar, but if you are a purist in Magic, you will see that some colors are kind of bent, get it? To like do things that normally those colors don't represent, which, okay, but and that box, this thing, ironically, I don't feel does a proper job at like representing that the colors don't match with the elements. Like, white is not air and blue is not water, and these explanations here are representative of what happens in the Avatar state, but not necessarily the color identity. So a little bit of tiny things. In terms of quality, well, I think that the worst thing in here are the playmats. I mean, you're not supposed to go to war with them or anything, but you can really tell that it's like a piece of paper glued to a piece of cardboard, and it shows. I mean, this is the second one, and you can be like, well, that's like a lot of board games do that, and it's like, yeah, but maybe with better results. This one is better, but also all of them seem to have this problem here in the seams, in the hinge, I guess. But you know, it's basic, it works, and it has Aang's face in there, so I guess win-win for everyone. As an established Magic player, is this worth it? I mean, not really, brother. Come on. If you want a box that has 2 pre-release dice and 10 Jumpstart theme Avatar decks as a board game, sure, but I mean, I guess that if you are a Magic player but you don't want to buy boosters, this is kind of having like an Avatar board game in Magic format, so I guess that kind of work for an established Magic player. Now, if you're a new Magic the Gathering player and you like Avatar, which I guess is the main reason you will buy this, because if you don't like Avatar, but I don't know where you will start here, but and if you don't like Avatar, maybe it's because you watch the series or the movie. So watch the Netflix series or the movie. Just watch the original show. But as a new player, I think this is very cool. You have all sorts of combinations to do here. You have a little bit of everything in the Avatar world, like a little bit of villains, of our lovely heroes, a little bit of everything being showcased here. It has enough to spark your curiosity in Magic and also to get you to buy boosters, which I guess is the end game. But if you don't want to buy anything, this is also pretty cool because, well, you can do a lot of combinations. You can, with the Ang deck, you can do half Ang and half attacking, or Ang and counters, or Ang and Zook, or Ang and allies, Ang waterbending, Ang spells. See, and you can just do that, or you can do it randomly, and then shuffle it. Now, the only two things that I have to warn you about are, number one, please buy sleeves. If you know what a sleeve is, you are in the right channel, my friend. There are a lot of videos about that. But buy sleeves, buy a box of sleeves, something like this. Something like this, like some Dragon Shield sleeves is a box of 100, or like some transparent sleeves that are the size, or just ones with art on them. There are Avatar ones, these are Wolverine ones, just pick any. If you have doubts and you want to look online, these cards are called standard size playing cards. When you look at something like Dragon Shield, it will say 100 matte dual sleeves, but if you look around, it will say that these are for standard size cards, right? So this is what you want. There are small or Japanese size cards. Those are for Yu-Gi-Oh! So for Magic the Gathering is standard size. Buy sleeves. You need, so these are 20 and you have 10. So you got here 200 cards. So you need two of these. You need two of 100. Obviously, if you ask me, I will prefer that I will tell you that all of them should have the same color of sleeves. I know that you may be tempted to get like black sleeves to the black ones, red sleeves to the red, but you don't want that because remember, these are supposed to be shuffled together. So just get one style that you like, get 200 sleeves, and sleeve everything. Remember, you don't need to sleeve this card. This card is just for separation. You can sleeve them, for consistency, but you don't use that one. And why you need the sleeves? Because the first time you shuffle these cards, those cards are going to suffer, and the more you shuffle them, the more they're going to suffer. Now, if you don't care, you don't need to sleeve them. But trust me, sleeving is caring. So please sleeve your cards. So I guess that's the one thing that I should warn you about. I think is the one thing that is, I'm not expecting this to include the sleeves, but I think that's the one thing you're going to need that is not included in this box for you to enjoy. And thing number two that I think is, important to give a heads up is that remember that if you mix, for example, waterbending and firebending in a deck, it's kind of easy to separate because, well, blue cards are waterbending and red cards are firebending. But if you mix waterbending and spells, both decks are blue. So, and this happens with Jumpstart as a whole. It's not just this product in particular. It's kind of a pain in the ass for you to remember or to figure out which ones go which way for you to separate them again so that you can use them again in a shuffling manner. But it's what it is. As a last note, because I realized that I didn't touch them in case you're a new player, you're maybe wondering why I need these two dice. This is referenced in the reference guide, but these are D20s, so dice with 20 faces, 20 sides. And these are used to track your life. In Magic the Gathering, normally you start with 20 life, which in this case 20 is replaced by Ang's face. And 1 is replaced with the Magic the Gathering logo for some reason. But so normally it's like this, right? And then as you lose life, you use this to track your own life. So you put it here in the place with the life total Ang phase, and you put it here and you take damage as the instructions will guide you, and you will go like, oh, I have 18 life, and you go like this and you use it to track it. Now, is it mandatory to use the dice? No, a lot of us use or mobile phones with a live tracking app. Just search up like live tracking app. It is what it is. So if you're new and you like this, welcome to the world of Magic the Gathering. I hope you enjoy it. And watch out for the packs. It's the worst type of drug, and it's a lot more expensive. So buy singles. If you don't know what that means, it's just like look online, cardmarket.com, TCG Player or something, and just buy the card that you want for a reasonable price instead of trying to pull it, because this is gambling, basically. And I think with that, you are ready to go and be free and enjoy this product. Do I recommend it? Yeah. If you're an established Magic the Gathering player, but if you, unless you really like Avatar and you want like a board game, but if you are new or you want to introduce someone to Magic using Avatar, this is amazing. This is perfect. My minor complaints are with, the unboxing experience and the playmats, which are like, I don't know why this is a thing, but it is what it is. You know what? Just if you like that person and it's, if we are around the holiday season, just buy them a proper playmat Avatar theme and we're golden. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those cool things that the cool kids need to say in the videos for this to have success. And if you have any doubt, any question, or whatever, please write down in the comments. I will be more than happy to reply and be useful for once. So, thank you very much. See you next time on Packs and Recreation.